What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to today's Anfield Agenda 10-minute transfer roundup. As always, I'm going to talk about a couple of stories that have been in the media relating to Liverpool and let you guys know if you can believe them or if there's much truth to them. Well, to the best of my ability, that is. Now, as always, before I get stuck into today's topics, if you guys want to catch any of the Anfield Agenda live stuff, you can catch us on our Twitch channel. Most nights at about 8:30, we do a 90-minute show on there. And also we have watch-alongs. And for the season upcoming, all of our Liverpool watch-alongs will be over on Twitch. We did sign a 1-year exclusive agreement to broadcast all our live stuff over there. Hope to see you over there soon. But for now, do drop a like on this video. Do hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. And of course, let me know your thoughts on any of the topics that I speak about in the comment section. Right, let's get straight to it then. We're going to start with Kalvin Ramsey tonight. No, we're not going to start with Kalvin Ramsey tonight. We're going to start with Kalvin Phillips tonight, Craig. Too many Kalvins lately. Kalvin Harris, Kalvin Ramsey, Kalvin Phillips. Too many Kalvins. Let's start with Kalvin Phillips. So I'd seen his name mentioned in the media linking him to Liverpool in recent days. And for a couple of reasons, I don't believe this to be true. The main reason I don't believe this to be true is I don't think he'd be necessarily a good fit in our system. Nor do I think he's the type of midfielder that we've been looking at. So if you look at Arlian Tchouameni as an example, looks likely, very likely now to end up at Real Madrid. But you look at him, you look at Bellingham, you can see some physical attributes and a style of midfielder, a box-to-box athletic midfielder. And that's what I would expect Liverpool to look at if to bring in a midfield addition. So the main reason one of the main reasons, and I've probably said the main reason twice now, that I don't think there's any truth to Liverpool is I firmly believe that if he does leave Leeds this summer, he ends up at Manchester City. A couple of reasons for this. One, Manchester City are most likely to pay the rumoured 60 million quid it would take to get Kalvin Phillips out of Leeds. And they also have more of a concern around the homegrown issue, or the amount of players that have to be registered that are classed as homegrown players ahead of the new campaign. So they see him as a long-term replacement to Fernandinho. Now, of course, they have Rodri in midfield, but Kalvin Phillips is somebody who, look, is a very good footballer. I'm not here to knock Kalvin Phillips as a player. I've just never believed it, and nobody that I've spoken to believes that he's likely to end up at Liverpool. So I think we can put that one to bed and move on to a forward discussion, and that is, of course, around Darwin Nunez. This story is very interesting because it continues to evolve, and I'm sure even as this video goes out, the 10:30 news cycle may bring some more stuff around it. So where are we at with Darwin Nunez? Are Liverpool interested in him? Yes, that much is absolutely undeniable. We had seen Paul Joyce today, who is gospel as far as many of us Liverpool fans are concerned with transfer news and stories. He has said that Liverpool are certainly interested in signing Benfica's Darwin Nunez, Uruguayan international, but, and this is really important, we won't get into a bidding war. Now, that's not Paul Joyce's words. His words were something along the lines of Liverpool won't bid crazy money, or Liverpool won't bid silly money. As always, with any transfers, Liverpool look to see value in them. Darwin Nunez, if he can be gotten for around, let's say, £60 million, is infinitely more likely than Darwin Nunez at the upper end of the budget, which is, or the asking price of around 100 million. Now, the reason that we're talking about not getting into a Mexican standoff or a battle with Manchester United, who are the other club linked to Darwin Nunez, a couple of reasons is, one, if we're being really honest, we can't go head-to-head with Manchester United financially. They have more money as a club. They spend more money as a club. They can offer more wages as a club. But what I think we can do, and what I hope Julian Ward is able to do, is convince Darwin Nunez that Liverpool are the right sporting project for him. It's believed that Darwin Nunez currently earns around 30 grand a week, 30 grand a week at Benfica. You know, you would imagine if he was to come to Liverpool, the figures that I'd seen mentioned for his wages would be about 70 or 80 grand a week. That money most likely coming from Sadio Mane's wages when he moves on to Bayern Munich. And that looks like it's edging a bit closer. Bayern have come in, I think, with an offer that may get close to the 40 million euro Liverpool are looking for Mane. So I do think that will happen. But Liverpool won't allow Mane to leave until we have a replacement lined up. So I guess it comes down to a couple of things. Does Darwin Nunez want a sporting project where he can come in, develop, will be idolised, of course, by the fans. But then again, he'd probably be idolised at Old Trafford as well. Or is he going to look for short-term financial gain? In which case, we can't compete with United. But we do have Jurgen Klopp. We do have a guarantee of Champions League football. We can promise him that he'll be fighting for all of the major trophies this season, much like last season at Liverpool, where we won a couple of domestic cups, did come up short in the Champions League, and of course finished agonisingly close to Manchester City again in the league. So Darwin Nunez ticks the profile of Liverpool in a lot of ways. Age bracket, absolutely. Unpolished diamond, or diamond in the rough, or untapped potential, whatever phrase you want to use. Again, yes, Liverpool could probably keep Darwin Nunez for 5 years, and then if he wanted to move to, I don't know, I know a lot of South American players idolise the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid, so if he wanted to move there in the future, I think Liverpool will look at this and think we could probably make a hefty profit down the line while turning the guy into maybe another superstar, and we have form for it. And this is why I think Julian Ward is in a good position to point out to Darwin Nunez players that have come into Liverpool and gone on to be superstars. You know, Fernando Torres, yes, he was known when he was at Atleti, but he really exploded on the scene at Liverpool. Luis Suarez, of course, came in from Ajax, went on, probably one of the few players I can think of that actually left Liverpool and progressed. You know, that front line at Barcelona was incredible with Suarez. So Liverpool can speak to Darwin Nunez and show him pathway through. Now, I also wonder which way, if he speaks to his compatriot Edinson Cavani about United, which way Cavani would go on that one, because we know he had to give up his number 7 shirt to Ronaldo when he came in, and we also know that Cavani seemed to be a little bit annoyed at the lack of game time that he was promised at Manchester United, but wasn't forthcoming after Ronaldo came in. So taking all that into account, common sense would make you think that Darwin Nunez would choose Liverpool. So I believe, and this is just my own opinion, yes, there is absolute concrete interest, but I do think if this deal is to happen, we will see it happen relatively quickly. Mane to Bayern Munich, again, that looks pretty close. So I think this makes sense. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but it makes sense. And I feel like it could be a masterstroke. Yeah, it could be a masterstroke. He's not the finished article. He is rough and ready. But I have a feeling Liverpool may do a slight change of system this season. I've been saying it on our news shows for a while now. And if we were to move to, let's say, a 4-2-3-1 system, we know that Fabio Carvalho is going to be utilised in a forward position this season with an eye on him being a midfielder in the future. So if we were to look at players playing in behind him, let's say we've Salah on the right, let's say we've Diaz on the left, then you've got either Bobby Firmino, Fabio Carvalho, Diogo Jota in behind or running past Darwin Nunez, who would give us another option. He could be the tall player that we put crosses into to hold it up, or we get runners off him. We could utilise Trent and Robbo, Costas and Henderson in the wide areas and whipping crosses to him. It just gives us a different option. And I think with Divock leaving, we need a different option. The only thing I really struggled to I suppose, square off was how much money would Liverpool spend on a different option. And the only way it really adds up to me is if we do see a little tweak in system, whereas we play with an out-and-out striker. We know most likely Manchester City are going to do that this season when they've brought in Haaland and, of course, Julian Alvarez from River Plate. Chelsea look like they are going to be making a play for Christopher Nkunku. So, you know, other than that, there aren't really many forwards I can think of that would make as much sense as Darwin Nunez. So what I would say is, I think this one will move quickly, one way or the other. If he chooses Liverpool, I think Julian Ward gets it wrapped up quickly. We come to an agreement with Benfica and Jurgen Klopp gets his man in early doors. Don't think this is a guarantee signing, because there still is the opportunity that United blow us out of the water financially, wage-wise and transfer fee-wise. Liverpool will only get him on our terms. And by that I mean probably on the cheap, or what looks like on the cheap, because somehow, and I don't know how, we've been able to negotiate pretty good transfer deals in the recent past. And again, I expect Julian Ward to look to carry that forward. A couple of other really quick things that I think we can safely rule out. There was talk about Matthias de Ligt, Liverpool being linked with him. I think Juventus aren't willing to pay him what he wants, and from what he's on at Juventus, or at least he's not willing to take a pay cut, I'd be amazed if Liverpool would pay what it would take to bring him in. And look, do we really need him right now with Ibrahim Konate, with Virgil van Dijk, with Joe Gomez, with Joel Matip as well? Probably not. So I don't think there's any truth to that story. Calvin Ramsey, I do think will be wrapped up relatively soon. And that pretty much brings us to the 10 minutes. So I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow. Again, do drop a like on the video. Let me know your thoughts on Nunez and anything else you want to chat about. Any suggestions or players you'd like me to discuss, again, please do put it in the comment section. I'll chat to you same time, same place tomorrow. Lots of love. Bye-bye.